Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. With Meghan Markle finally releasing a podcast, reactions are, of course, both strong and mixed. Gertz Royals reported that 24 hours after the Archetypes was released, the podcast had a 4.3 stars rating out of 5 with over 7,000 reviews. Daily Mail Plus recapped one of the stories Meghan told about a fire in Archie's room, but stick around for the twist. Meghan recounted her horror when a small fire broke out in son Archie's room during a tour of South Africa with Prince Harry. As Meghan tells the story, Archie, then 4 months old, was not in the room when a heater began to smoke, but the incident left the Duchess shaken and in tears. Despite the upset, Meghan said she was forced to continue with official engagements, accusing those running the tour of concentrating on how it looks instead of how it feels. She also told of the pain she has suffered behind closed doors, describing the fire incident as an example of how she had been forced to carry on with royal duties while dealing with personal issues. We immediately went to an official engagement in this township called Nyanga, and there was this moment where I'm standing on a tree stump and I'm giving this speech to women and girls. We finish the engagement, we get in the car and they say, "There's been a fire at the residence, there's been a fire in the baby's room." She told how they returned to the accommodation and found our amazing nanny, who she named as Lauren, in floods of tears. Meghan said Lauren had spontaneously decided to take Archie downstairs for a snack before his nap when the smoke was noticed. In that amount of time that she went downstairs, the theatre in the nursery caught on fire. There was no smoke detector. Someone happened to just smell smoke down the hallway, went in, fire extinguished it. He was supposed to be sleeping in there. As a mother, you go, "Oh my God, what? Everyone's in tears, everyone's shaken, and what do we have to do? Go out and do another official engagement?" I said, "This doesn't make any sense. Can you just tell people what happened?" And I think the focus ends up on being how it looks instead of how it feels. And part of the humanizing and the breaking through of these labels and these archetypes and these boxes that we're put into is having some understanding on the human moments behind the scenes that people might not have any awareness of, and to give each other a break. But here's the twist from the Daily Mail. Royal sources do not recall the fire in baby Archie's hotel room. Sources recall the incident, which took place on September 23rd, 2019, and while they do not remember there actually being a fire, the heater was certainly smoking and was unplugged and dealt with. Sources have defended the Duchess over the incident, saying it would have understandably caused concern to any parent. The Sussexes were subsequently moved to a different accommodation as the tour continued. One source told the Daily Telegraph that any announcement about Archie being at risk of fire or having to cancel an event about people forcibly removed during apartheid would have overshadowed the couple's work. Meghan and guest Serena Williams discussed the parental aspect of such an incident. Serena said, "I would drop anything at any time to do whatever I had to do for Olympia. Middle of a Grand Slam final, I would leave if I had to." Meghan replied, "And yet you still show up and do the match. You still get the thing without people having any sense of what was happening behind the scenes. And I think what's so key for us as women, just not women, I think our husbands are really good at this. Other men need to get even better at this, as well as recognizing what people don't see, right? So when you went and played that match the next morning, no one knew what your night had been like the night before. They forgot that human piece of it. Just like when we went on that tour to South Africa, we landed with Archie. He was 4.5 months old, and the moment we landed, we had to drop him off at this housing unit that they had us staying in, and he was going to get ready to go down for his nap. We immediately went to an official engagement in this township called Nyanga, and there was this moment where I'm standing on a tree stump and I'm giving this speech to women and girls, and we finish the engagement. We get in the car and they say, "There's been a fire at the residence." "What? There's been a fire in the baby's room." "What? Go out and do another official engagement?" I say, "This doesn't make any sense. Can you just tell people what happened?" And so much, I think, optically, the focus ends up on being on how it looks instead of how it feels. Palace Intrigue, right back. Meghan and Serena Williams discussed ambition. Meghan said, "I don't remember ever personally feeling the negative connotation behind the word ambitious until I started dating my now husband." Serena revealed how Harry helped her with the decision to retire from tennis long before it was announced, spending around an hour discussing the issue with her. Harry also makes an appearance in the episode, with Meghan and Williams greeting Harry with "hello" in British accents, and the Duke telling Williams, "I like what you've done with your hair. It's a great vibe." As Harry leaves, Meghan remarks, "Thanks, my love." The next Archetypes podcast will feature Mariah Carey. Presumably it will come out next week, but given the track record, let's wait and see. Other promised guests include Mindy Kaling and Margaret Cho, comedian Amanda Seales, and author Alison Yarrow. In other Harry and Meghan news, they've adopted a 7-year-old beagle. She's named Mamma Mia and comes from an animal shelter after she was rescued when the animal testing facility she had been living at shut down earlier this year. Mamma Mia joins the other dogs Guy, another beagle, and Pula, a Labrador at her home in Montecito, which is known to provide privacy for celebrity dogs. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott's Palace Intrigue. Good time.